Okay, this is a video of trying to get to Mythic in December. I didn't even know if I was going to even bother going for Mythic in Constructed this month. But eventually at the end of the month, I figured why not. So I did leave it pretty late. Like at the start of this video, it did say how long until the end of the season. It was probably like 7 hours something. So yeah, I did leave it pretty late, but I'm only like 3 wins away from Mythic at this point. That was a good draw then. Sorry, I was focusing on trying to get the score up, but yes, I drew that plains then, and I really needed to. This game would have probably been a lot different if not for that, because I don't know how I could have won otherwise. Because like I could have played the birth, that would have got me the other planes that I needed, but that was kind of that would have been my next turn. And how much damage would I have taken before I got a chance to use the shatter? Anyway, after the shatter just killed 3 creatures, then that's pretty much game. I don't think there's anything that the opponent can do against that. So that's a good thing about playing sweepers. Also, in the current meta, like the decks that everyone's playing, no one is playing sweepers. So it's something that no one really plans for or expects. They just throw all their creatures out because no one's playing Shadow of the Sky, and certainly no one's playing Shadow's Verdict. No one plays that card, but it is really good against rogues if you ever get to resolve it. It basically just wins against rogues in one spell. But, you have to worry about counter spells is the only problem. And yeah, that's beat Gruul. I mean, this deck has a decent matchup against Gruul. If you can, especially if you can play one of the sweepers. And you don't let them resolve a Great Henge. If they do get the Great Henge, there's Doom Foretold and there's Elspeth Conquers Death to deal with that. Usually when I'm searching my library for lands, I never want to get plains, and the reason is the birth of Meletus, whatever it's called. But there's only 3 of those births in the deck. But generally every time I'm getting a land, I pretty much never I try to avoid getting plains, like all the time. This was interesting. I could have waited 1 turn on playing birth, and then maybe I could have bounced it with Yorion, but I was pretty sure that would have just been a better play than the Omen of the Sun. Just to guarantee that I would have enough lands. And I think maybe I was planning on saving the Omen of the Sun so that I could block the Crawling Barrens, but that's not... Crawling Barrens is not going to be a problem for a while, especially I think the opponent just missed a land drop, and they don't have a way to deal with Elspeth's Nightmare. Unless I think they're a Doom Foretold deck, which is actually bad for them because I'm a Doom Foretold deck, so I'll always have plenty of things to throw away. So yeah, Doom Foretold not going to do a lot. The only thing I was worried about was Ugin. But I do have some artifacts which wouldn't get exiled anyway. And yeah, got to hit Ugin out of their hand, and I don't care if they have removal spells. That's kind of the whole point of this deck, where like none of the creatures are that important, so all of the removal spells that your opponents have should just do nothing, basically. Which I think is, yeah, that's like the advantage of playing this deck in particular, which is why I built it with like very little creatures in it. The only real creatures are the Simulacrum and the Yorion. Everything else is just tokens, like the wall and the whatever they are from the Omen of the Sun. So they play Elspeth Nightmare. I was a bit surprised that they didn't just kill the Simulacrum, given that I can play another Yorion. But I think this game is just over anyway. I was kind of worried about the Elspeth Nightmare, but not really. So I just wanted to just get a ton of value out of playing another Yorion here, even though, I mean, you still get more value because you get a double Yorion trigger. Even though you do have to sacrifice one of the Yorions, and I didn't even care about them making me discard here. I have 4 Dance of the Manse in the deck, so even though, yeah, even though I discarded ECD, I could still just get it back later potentially. And yeah, I still had all those permanents exiled with the Yorion that were going to come back. So I do like beating Ugin decks, because I hate Ugin. And I don't have Ugin in this deck, which is something I'm pretty happy about. I don't even think it'd be that good in this deck. Just because it's pretty much a control deck doesn't mean you just want Ugin all the time. Yeah, this game I drew lands. I've drawn like 3 lands so far, and I will continue to draw lands. And I think I'm playing second against Mono Red, which is somewhere you never want to be. But yeah, every single draw this game was a land. I still had things to do, but the fact that I just had to do nothing on turn 3 except buy a Yorion and discard a card when you're playing against the most aggressive deck in the format. Not actually what you want to be doing. And there's another land. Yeah, I think I just drew maybe 6 lands in a row, even after playing Birth and some Fabled Passage. Yeah, I was expecting an Embercleave here, so I couldn't block the token anyway. Otherwise I would just be dead. I think maybe Shadow's Verdict was the only card I could draw here to not be dead. But I draw like the 20th land, so you can't do much. Playing second against Mono Red for 1. I can't remember if I was playing second or not, by the way. Maybe I wasn't. But yeah. Generally you don't want to be playing second against Mono Red, but you also don't want to be drawing like 6 lands in a row. There are a lot of 2-cost cards in this deck to try to avoid that from happening, but if all you draw is lands, then you can't do much anyway. So yeah, playing the Omen here, I knew the card that I wanted to get was exactly Elspeth Nightmare, and it was already on top of the deck, so I was pretty happy about that. Yeah, if I couldn't deal with that Luminarch Aspirant, then that would have been a problem. So I don't have a sweeper here, but Doom Foretold pretty good. They are stuck at 2 lands, but they're like very aggressive here. So I was still a little bit worried. But given that I drew an Elspeth Nightmare here, and they just have to sacrifice their last creature from the Doom Foretold, this game is just over at this point. I think they're a Winota deck. I don't know if I've played against this deck before or if it's a proper deck that people play. Yeah, like I don't know if they just made this deck or if they got it from somewhere. But it does look like a Winota deck. I'm kind of glad that Winota's not super popular, because that card was pretty annoying when everyone was playing it. But yeah, it's kind of just a matter of time in this game. They don't have a lot going on and I've just got infinite things to do. So I could have played Yorion, but I decided just to double Omen the Sun would be pretty good. Like that should just seal it up. Then I have more stuff to use with the Yorion anyway, so I don't think there's anything that the opponent could do here. They don't even have the mana for the Embercleave, even if they had Embercleave. So yeah, I just need to win this game. I think I'm one win away from Mythic at this point. And yeah, I think this is my favorite deck to play in ranked. It's not. I mean, I just made this deck, so no one's playing it, but but I think there are some people playing Esper Doom. Just not my version of it. So yeah, here I go for the Simulacrum. Then I can play the Golden Egg and the Omen of the Sun on the next turn. Also, it's you get a land, you draw a card, you kill one of their creatures. Pretty good value. And yeah, I think since I did draw an untapped land, I just go for the double Omen. If I didn't draw the untapped land, I would have just Golden Egg and then just one Omen of the Sun. But the Omen of the Sun also gains you life as well as making the tokens, so I was pretty safe here. And yeah, this was interesting. I just went for the blocking 4 on a Fervent Champion. I knew they were going to use the castle because they had nothing else to do. But yeah, I'll have one token left to kill the Rimrock Knight for the next turn. I think I just needed for them to not draw Embercleave. Maybe they could have won then. Yeah. Anyway, so that was Mythic rank for December on the last day before the new year. So yeah, 6 hours 58 minutes to go, and I finished this at like midnight or something. But yeah, I'm glad I got Mythic for another month in a row. That's Mythic like every month since the first time I got it, which I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago when I was playing Simic Mutate. But yeah, lately I've just been, when I'm playing ranked, I'm kind of just playing my Doom Foretold deck. Still enjoying playing it, but I wouldn't mind trying some different decks. But yeah, so that's it's been I've tested the Doom Foretold deck quite a bit, and it can win games. So anyway, that's the Mythic for December. And that's the end of this video, so thanks for watching, bye!